Greetings, YouTube. So today we're going to take a look at some custom Space Marines. So I have two sets of Adeptus Astartes here. We have on the right side here, we have the Salamanders. If you follow me on Instagram, and I'll put a link to my Instagram or my handle or whatever, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I put some pictures up of these guys a couple of weeks ago when I first got them done. Well received. These are the Salamanders. These are not a released faction from JoyToy. This is custom work from me, painting, putting the heraldry and the symbols and all that stuff. We'll go and get into all that in a second. Then we also have on this side the Saber Wings. This chapter doesn't exist. Well, it does now. This is my custom Space Marine chapter, and I'll tell you the story about how I came about them in a second. So let's have a look at them. Okay, so here we have the Salamanders chapter that I've created, and what I'll do real quick is I'll quickly run through some of the lore for the Salamanders so that you know where we're coming from, and then I'll talk about how I made these guys. So the lore of the Salamanders, their Primarch, Vulcan. Okay, so he is what they call a perpetual, meaning that he's functionally immortal. He's been killed several times, even though he's hard to kill because he's one of the bigger Primarchs. He's a big, strong dude. He always came back to life. As of right now, he's missing, but there's hope that he will come back at some point. And you've probably noticed that all of these Salamander guys have very dark skin. So Vulcan also had dark skin and red eyes. It was one of the mutations that occurred in his genome. Hard to say what it's from, if it's from just random mutation or if it's from the harsh radiation of his home planet Nocturne. Most of I want to say the people that lived on Nocturne had that really dark skin too. So I don't know, it is what it is. I guess your interpretation is just as good as anybody else's, but that's how they look. Dark skin, red eyes. And they hail from, like I said, the planet Nocturne. There was these huge dragon type beasts that lived on Nocturne that they would hunt. They were very adept at forging weapons. That's what they're known for. And they're very into fire. Their planet had a lot of volcanism, a lot of fire themed aspects, and that's why they have the look of that. So how did I make these guys? These guys are actually Blood Angel Death Company figures. And what I did is I took them apart with a little bit of hot water and got the green that I wanted based on the lore and things that I looked at, pictures, sources, different things like that to see what shade of green I wanted. Now, these pauldrons here, now this is really cool because these pauldrons I got from a guy on Etsy, and I'll put his information in the link below. But he makes 3D prints of different accessories for your JoyToy, and he can give you the different heraldry for different chapters. So this, I could have tried to draw that, but it was much nicer to just have it printed so that it's elevated off, it's three-dimensional, looks real nice. As far as the rest of his accessories, these guns were, I can forget where I got these guys' guns from. These were guns I had left over from different figures that I had gotten, either Black Templars, or it might have actually been the Death Company guys, and I just painted them green so that they matched. Added a little bit of extra flair here. These little lizard type patterns, because if you look at the lore, the Salamanders often have skins of the salamanders that they hunt, the huge dragon type beasts that they hunt on Nocturne. So I got, this is gonna be funny for you, but I went to the thrift store and I got a lady's purse that had a snake or lizard print on it, design, and cut it up, painted it, and there you go. like a $10 item. Good job, thrift store. Couple of other things. This spectacular sword with the Aquila on it. This eagle, double-headed eagle symbol that is also from the Etsy store. And this sword here. This is also an ancient battle sword. This was also from the Etsy store. These came unpainted. I painted them. But yeah. Very nice. Excellent. As far as the salamanders go, you know, I put their different symbols and stuff on there. The fire, the old Gothic number for their squad or company, I think that's the company number. And yeah, so might look like it's complicated, but it really wasn't. It was just a matter of looking and seeing what I wanted and painting it up to be like that. All right, let's take a look at the Saber Wings. Okay, so next up we have the Saber Wings, my original Space Marines chapter. So, quick story on how this happened. I had ideas after I had made the Salamanders. I had ideas on making another Space Marine chapter. I was thinking of the Crimson Fists because I really like the Imperial Fist. I like their symbol with the fist emblem, and that's what I was going to do. So I knew I had the right color blue because it's not Ultramarines blue. It's more of a brilliant blue. And I was looking on my guy's site, and he the Etsy site, and he had an Imperial Fist pauldron, but it didn't have the circle around it. So I was like, okay, so I could get that and then try to paint the circle. But if I got to paint something, maybe I can just paint the hand in the circle on my own. As I was painting these guys blue and getting to the point where it was time to paint that symbol on a pauldron, I decided against it. I didn't want to have it look sloppy and just not look right. Didn't want it to not look right. So I had these brilliant blue Space Marines that I had used and had them all ready to go. So I had to decide, what am I going to do with them? So I started looking through some of the different chapters that already exist. And then at a certain point, and I don't know how it happened, but I was like, you know what? Maybe just make my own chapter. So I came up with the Saber Wings. Very simple design here. They just have a kind of silver wing on their right pauldron. Very simple, very no nonsense. A brilliant blue. You got the silver chest plate. And then we have a yellow stripe down the left, and then you got your symbols for their company, or not their company, but their squad or their tactics. So what did I use to make these guys? Him, and him, right? Yes, those all three are Ultramarines. So because I knew I was going to paint them blue, even when I was going to make them Crimson Fists, I wanted to start with a color that was close to that. So got some Ultramarines that I had doubles of. Some of them I had gotten on accident because I was going hog wild when I was ordering these guys and accidentally bought two. Was going to just take them back, send them back to Amazon. But I was like, you know what? Custom fodder. So these three guys were Ultramarines, and then, you know, just painted them that brilliant blue, used some silver paint, got that going on the front on the chest plate. And then, like I said, this yellow strip here is a vinyl sticker sheet that I cut out of. And then also on here, I don't know if maybe you noticed this, maybe you didn't, but these purity seals, these things, many of them come with these on there on different random spots. I sometimes add more, like this one here. This is one I made. And then as far as accessories go, I basically stuck with the accessories that would have come with this Ultramarine. These types of swords, this bolter, and this head is actually from this Imperial Fist captain that is like a no-name captain. So I went ahead and took his alternate head and gave him that. So these guys are my Saber Wings. Now, as far as lore for these guys go, I do not have a Primarch progenitor that they had got their gene seed from yet. I'm still thinking that through in my head. I'm leaning towards either Rogaldorn or Gilliman or Lionel Johnson. I don't want them to have any weird mutations or anything like that. I want them to be kind of a straightforward chapter. And then this guy here, he is their veteran, older guy. He still has a pauldron left over from way, way back. So I'm going to make him like their old school sergeant type guy. And real quick, as far as these guys go, all of the ones that you have seen so far have their alternate head on, or well, maybe that is their regular head. But I also have helmets for them. Well, at least for most of them. So we got Space Marine helmets for my Salamanders and my Saber Wings. So I'll take some pictures with their helmets on so that you can see how that looks as well. All right, so that is my foray into some customs with some JoyToy Space Marines. Had really fun time making the Salamanders and these guys. And now it's looking like I'm gonna have to do more. Like, I want to make another chapter already, which is silly because I probably should just make more of the chapters I got, but you know how that goes. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Later.